Dear beloved friends, I am Julian Lairosius, and this is the fifth additional session for the masterclass entitled Your Free Self, or as it looks like it might be also Your Real Self. The end title, we'll see, we will still play with it. In these additional sessions that are a bit shorter than the main ones, we openly explain and share with all of you what's happening to our human self during the weeks in between. So, we are ending the 9th week of the masterclass. Yeah, pretty amazing. And it was quite an intense experience for our human to go through so much transition, transformation, and rebirthing in such a short period of time, but he's so open to it, and we thank him dearly to also give the example here to all of you, to show a standard of someone who allowed it. You're gonna probably do it in your own way, not for sure you're gonna do it in your own way, let me get the words right, but you're gonna do it in a different way, because the whole essence of what we are sharing here with you is to remind you of this grand presence that is being present here, to remind you of your own God self, and that's it. We cannot do it for you. Yes, we can speak about certain topics, we can explain how our human is going through the journey, share with you some stories, but this is going to be a point of emphasis once again. We cannot do it for you. However, it is your creation if you are part of this master journey. So you've set all the necessary potentials to get you out of the comfort zones, to allow you to go beyond your mind, or to integrate your mind in the new way, whatever expression you want to use. But it was all about also transcending the idea that enlightenment needs to be connected with suffering. And most probably, almost for sure, for almost anyone watching this later, it's not gonna challenge them as much as it challenged our human at moments. However, it still wasn't so painful or excruciating in general picture, because our human went through so much before, in the years before. So this was a pretty smooth ride, or pretty smooth sailing in comparison with what was before. However, still, if some of you would have experienced what he has experienced also during these months, it would seem like a lot for you. And that's nothing wrong with it. We don't want to put any definitions out as well, because it could be also challenging for some of you if you have chosen to be part of it and to simply sail beyond the limitations, depending on your old stories, on your resistance, on how much you've been playing with in duality and so on. But it's all becoming much lighter, easier, and smoother in general. Also, because of the work we are doing here and some other masters and beings throughout the whole world and the universe, but especially those who are allowing consciousness on earth, those of you, those of us have moved mountains and created the energetic pathways for the new generations. We created the new earths on the basis of template of this classical earth. Wow. You will probably not get a big reward from anywhere outside of you, but those of us who know simply know. So give yourself this sincere thanks, express sincere gratitude to yourself, and thank you for your service, just like we thank our human self for his service. Absolutely amazing, and outrageous, and it will never be forgotten by those who know. So let's take a deep breath into that And let's love ourselves even more, even deeper for each and everything we've ever done and allowed, because it served such a grander purpose. Thank you. Okay, we would also like to add, like we mentioned at the beginning, what human has been going through more tangibly in this last week, or even a little bit more than that. He's slowly starting to lose his mind, and in a good way, not going crazy, but it could seem so to someone who is not ready, but this human Urosh is ready, and he's not feeling a lot separation anymore from the real self, which is now bringing us, me as divinity, the master and the human, this sacred trinity, into sovereign oneness in the embodied style. And this is going to be expressed, and it already is, as the embodied ascended master Julian La Erosius, the completely new version of me, the real soul essence, is now the real Julian on earth, embodied in a different way. And it's simply glorious. And please feel into our story, because we are highlighting the potentials for you as well. We shouldn't even say it, but why not say it so the mind can open up even more and allow even more? Let everything be washed away that you consider not serving you anymore for your highest good. It is a brave choice because it literally enables the identity of the human to die. And we prefer to use the word transition because it's much nicer for the mind, because the death has all these connotations that are so scary and all of it. However, those of you watching this here already know that dying is nothing special, because you are dying each and every second of your life, actually. And you are birthing also, you're being rebirthed. But this grand rebirth that you've been allowing also through this master journey of yours, we were simply the conscious mirror, is beyond anything you've ever allowed in all of creation. Because letting yourself embrace the God self that you are, sailing into the new version of yourself, and this sailing wasn't always so smooth, was it? Maybe for some of you watching this later it is. Excellent. So our job and work was done here to enable also all of you the easier journey. But for those of us around the year 2020, it wasn't such an easy job. And now the work is done, the job is done. The spiritual families are over. This was also one of the main purposes why we came down to earth, to enable the discovery that consciousness and energy are not separated, and that all energy is yours, and that energy serves consciousness. We could go into a deeper discussion now here. However, we'll talk more about it in the last celebration joy session, in a playful way, because it's all about playfulness now. We're also going to write together with our human the chapter tomorrow about ease, fun, and playfulness of life. And it wasn't possible to do it until now for real, at least not in a easy and joyful, in a really easy and joyful way, because this is also the ending of all agenda, of all the oaths and vows you've taken and given and so on, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, else you should do or that you are responsible for, or any burden of humanity, universe, creation, whatever. You can let it all go now. Because your real self, your free self is free, joyfully free, and let also the human be. And can you feel kind of the intention of all this master journey, although there wasn't any specific real intention, but we could assume that the limitless highway of your limitless self is going to melt with a human journey and its bumpy road as much as it was still bumpy. And the limited is opening up into the limitless. Now, these aren't just words at all, because some time ago they could still be more words than the actual reality, but now it's becoming so. So let's honor this moment and please feel, sense beyond the mind, because like we said, our human is losing the mind and it feels really great, but he had to confront a lot of fears in the past, also certain ones of them in these months, to be able to open up. And he still will do it entirely, because there's no 1% left in the mastery. It is all or nothing. And this is a good news, because you are either free to honor one of my Ascended Master's friends, you're either free or you are not. And the whole essence of this class was to enable you the freedom. Once again, we are not doing it for you. The consciousness here is prepared because you have co-created it. It is your own message also. And thank you for honoring us, that we are able to express it to you, because you already know it. And let yourself now embrace the new master self, the new version of you, even more, even deeper. Let's feel how these two roads are becoming one, and you're gonna laugh and smile at the fact when you're gonna really realize it, just like our human, that the separation was never real and it was simply created for the sake of experience, and the experiences got pretty extreme at times for some of you, for some of us. But now let it all be washed away, and let's breathe with this. No more agenda, no more trying to save the world, if some of you are still doing it. No more trying to even define yourself, to prove yourself, to show that you are worthy. You are worthy, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Let's be clear. And let all the leftovers, the old residues that are maybe still energetically stuck in your body, kind of reminding you of your unworthiness, of your undeservingness, of your needing to work hard, or maybe still thinking that you should do something in order to be enlightened, to be realized, to be free, or that you'd have to help others so you're going to be loved, or that you won't let people down or humanity down, and maybe also that you would clean up the mess that some of us who were building the earth created. That's the way the human perceived it, like, oh, you see, we had such a beautiful idea and design of earth, and then it all went to hell. And there could be a guilt keeping you in the wicked circle, so to speak, keeping you in the strange circle of all the time trying to take the burden of humanity and to help people, to take burden of humanity upon yourself. No, 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 let it go now. Every being is responsible for their own choices, decisions. They came here with their own decision, and you actually see, no matter how crazy it got in between, the plan actually worked. The Earth of Plan was the only really successful plan to enable the creation to move forward. So this standstill isn't real, but we discovered the solution thanks to all of you humans. Ah, what's the real story behind consciousness and energy? You are the God self, and all energy is yours. Everything you see is yours, but nothing is yours to carry. So we also kind of cut and slice everything that would still be burdening you, and let also the cells in your body feel it, because that's also the story for our human, that he's releasing all of these issues and old energies from his body, so his light free energy soul body can be present for real even more. And that's gonna enable you the awesome ecstatic orgasmic existence on earth, because like we said, we cannot teach realization, nobody can, but by being present in this presence, you are remembering in yourself, because this is your mirror of yourself, your own creation, and it's reminding you of who you are. But not only this, here is about embodied enlightenment, about embodying consciousness, and there are deep, deep potentials present that we co-created with our own wisdom, with your own consciousness, and we thank you dearly for being here. And now let yourself feel into everything that was shared up until now, also in this session and before, and let the human joyfully transition. Let all the parts be washed away that are not necessary anymore. And let's do it with joy, ease, not working on it. These sessions are not working on yourself, they're actually allowing yourself to see and to sense and release everything that's been keeping you in the routine of working on yourself. This is allowing of pure allowing. So, yeah, all right. Resistance, let it be, but also sail beyond. Thank you. And let's just keep on breathing, gently, tenderly. It's your safe space to relax and stop and allow all energies to serve you and to allow yourself to realize that you are realized, to enlighten yourself with the knowingness that you are enlightened. Let the human embrace it also, because your presence and the master know it. And let your future enlightened self come here. Yes, it's already here. And let's just sit in the presence of it, actually in the presence of your free self. Alright, beloveds, could you feel this safe space, this tenderness, this softness, and also this expansiveness, the grandness, the grandeur? It is all you, it is all you. So let us make another point so we kind of complete this conscious journey about our human. He's been also going through quite a lot of physical pain in these last days because some things were being released, and at least in this time, like I said, it might be different for you later, because he's also transcending the diabetes type 1 aspect, which has a lot of energetic uh, triggers there. It's like, yeah, it's okay. Also, when physicality hurts, because two of the most different essences are coming together. The human built completely differently with all its biology, and then divine God self, which is entirely free, but was never in such way in the human physical reality. So these two roads, the limitless highway and the human road, are coming together and becoming one. And like it was explained in the description of this master journey, your limitless journey, it's like letting all the energies serve you easily. Yes, and let's allow it. You simply let it happen. When these residues, when these oaths, when these patterns, when these beliefs that you need to work hard to be deserving of abundance, to be deserving of love, to be deserving of joy, to be deserving of laughter, to be deserving of whatever is there. Now you let it all go entirely. If you choose so, of course, it's always your own choice, but here we are shining and radiating these deep, freedom potentials in all these areas as well. Because your own enlightenment, your own divine remembrance gives you such flow always. Then in the embodiment you also bring in, so to speak, you transcend and integrate each and every part of you that was imbalanced in physical reality, also previous lifetimes, and so on. But that's another matter. And just letting you know that this here is kind of doing it simultaneously, embodiment and enlightenment. It depends on your own personal case, but it's also our idea behind it to bring it as close as possible. So then the shift from your realization into embodied realization is not too rough, too harsh, but it can be a smooth sailing. Yes. And letting all the energy serve you easily because you trust so much as the human that all is going to come to you, directly to you. All that you need to know, all the abundance, all financial resources, all partnerships, relationships, everything in your highest good, for your best interest, so to speak. And let yourself still play. That's our suggestion, of course. You do it your own way, but play with your teachings, for instance, with your academies, with your art, with your businesses, and so on, whatever you feel like, without agenda, without needing even to think that this has to be your source of income, for instance, or that certain partner needs to fulfill your love desires or whatever. He or she still will mirror you that love back to you and also sometimes help you to integrate some of the still imbalanced parts, especially those that are still in the body, so to speak, energetically, because it's all about embodiment for us, isn't it? At least for some of us. And it's not a competition, it's your valid choice to also allow ascension and leave the earth. Absolutely no jobs here to do anymore. But if you allow your light energy body, it's so much more fun to stay. And that's actually what our human has been allowing for quite some time now. Challenging him a lot because of the old imbalances. But it's really tangibly becoming embodied now. More than ever. And it's not also going to end, because it's an ongoing expansion and deepening and exploration of yourself, but now from the enlightened, free, energetic perspective, not anymore as the fight through duality. You simply feel into it and it's happening. Even beyond that, you don't even have to think about or to feel about when to get or let me say it again. You don't have to feel into the money or the love or into the partner. Yeah, it can be a nice exercise in between for your mind to relax and to feel these feelings. But now, being here, there's a potential and the true possibility and reality for you to simply let it all happen for you. because your soul, your enlightened presence, your real self already knows. And the human just plays with it. Of course, you can play more with some aspects of creation, some facets of yours that you enjoy playing with more, just like maybe being an actor or, I don't know, just walking around and whistling, whatever feels good to you. Massages, for instance. Yes. And you are a gift to humanity and universe with each breath that you take while staying on earth in your enlightenment, in your embodied conscious realization. Oh, such a gift. Such a gift. That's why it's worth it. Yes, out of service to everyone, but also for you to enjoy life on earth like you never did before. And yes, this might seem scary for the mind a little bit because it's totally opening up into the unknown, but the new mind, the light body, and the new conscious mind, they simply serve you easily to do the job for you, that it feels natural to the mind, not that the mind needs to carry the burden of creation because it just cannot do it. And then it can become really messy. So simply let your mind transform. Observe how duality is living, because if you are here, duality is finished. And it's going to finish entirely for you if you choose it. So, or let me put it another way, when you choose it so. But the conscious flow is already taking place, as you very well know. I'm just mentioning it once again. So there's no way to stop it. If you're here, you cannot stop your realization or your enlightenment, your free conscious life. Yes, you could leave Earth without staying here with your light body. That's where you still have a choice. But we kind of set the ground so you can stay as easy, with as easy decision as possible. Because once you're so embodied and feel the consciousness, light body so strongly in yourself, as all of you are starting to feel or already feeling, I'm going to talk here about myself. Our human is feeling it very deeply. And if you're not feeling it yet, you are going to, sooner or later. So let's just allow it all to be as it is. Let it be. When I let it be, oh, when I let it be, I just let it flow. When I let it be, oh, when I let it be, I just let it flow. When I let it be, when I let it be, I let it come to me. So let the real self and your human self be one, become one, live as one. That's where all the energy serves you, because only to the human the energy doesn't serve in an easy, abundant, and nice way, in the most cases. But to the human who allowed the mastery, who allowed consciousness to be him or her, that's the whole other chapter then. And this is your new story with your free new self. And let yourself simply observe how everything old is living, being rearranged, shifted, transformed, or whatever you want to call it. Don't even pay too much attention to it. Simply be the joyful conscious observer. That's our recipe. And sooner or later, your life will be the pure ecstasy of bliss. There is no other way if you are here, because you have chosen it. My beloved friend, I am Julian Laerusius. The human is slowly dissolving, and also if there are still some fears present in yourself, just like in our human, in the heart, in the mind, and so on, in the cells, It's gonna be alright. Let yourself be gentle with yourself. Observe consciously also when the pain comes up, because the pain is simply the mind's perception, and the more you're gonna go beyond the mind, the less pain you're gonna feel, because you're gonna know energetically it's not real. And while all of this is happening, play with life. That's our guideline. Play with life, with things you love, and be aware if there are still any agendas or expectations or anything else. It can be simply a beautiful way to realize maybe some aspects which are not fully transcended and integrated yet, but it shouldn't stop you. It doesn't have to stop you from playing with life in a soul way, because then it all becomes so much easier for your whole embodied enlightened journey. With all of that, I love you dearly, as the mirror of your own divinity and loving self. Thank you so much.